which has since been disclosed. If we shut the paper, we can kind of wash our hands of it and say we now have clean hands, so let us go ahead with this big purchase.
Sacrifice the paper and we might be able to get the B Sky B buyout.
Exactly. Okay. And that was pretty cynical.
Right, which didn't work, obviously.
No.
But at the time, that was a big bet for Murdoch to make, because he had to shut that paper down. It was...
Yeah. But I mean, these are selfish, ruthless people. I don't think they worried too much about the people. I mean, that may be unfair, but it doesn't seem to me they worried very much about the people whose jobs were being lost. Some of them were subsequently re-employed because they then relaunched a different Sunday newspaper a year or so later.
Did journalists react to you when that happened? Did you get heat? Did you get blame? Were you a hated man?
Well, so it divides into two chunks, really. I think an enormous number of journalists, including as many as 30 different people who'd worked for the News of the World, wanted all this crime and corruption exposed, because most journalists do not think that we should be committing crimes. They don't think we should be invading people's privacy. They don't think we should be bullying government. They know what's right and what's wrong. There is a small number of journalists who are addicted to that kind of world of tabloid crime and tabloid bullying. And they certainly hate me, hate Alan Rusbridger, who was the editor of The Guardian, hate Tom Watson, the most outspoken politician on it. And, you know, what can you do about them? So they would be those sort of people would say, it was The Guardian that closed the News of the World. Well, it really wasn't. It was their boss, Rupert Murdoch. But, you know, Tennyson has that great line, I'd be a fool to reason with a fool. And I'm not interested in engaging in debate with the bad guys in Fleet Street. They have spent years bringing shame on the profession of all of us. Most journalists are decent, honest people who really want to tell the truth about the world to people, and they may fail, but that's what they're trying to do. And there's just this small minority of bullies and bad guys who've got themselves into powerful positions on some newspapers, and they are remorseless, merciless, and unreformed.
From the Levinson Commission, did you ever see Murdoch having to testify?
Yes, so Murdoch popped up twice. Once at the Select Committee, about 2 weeks after we'd done the Millie Dowler story in July 2011, and again at Leveson, where he gave evidence on oath. When he was in front of the Select Committee, there was some quite good questioning, but those committees are famous for not being particularly good at interrogating people, because these are politicians. At Leveson, he was up against this very clever and articulate barrister called Robert Jay, who's now become a High Court judge. And he was sweating, he was in trouble. I think that Robert Jay would agree that at the end of the day, he didn't finally break him, but he had him up against the wall.
I remember watching that, and it felt like he was really trying, but sometimes it felt like he wasn't going for the knockout blow. That's just the only recollection I have.
Of Robert Jay?
Yeah, but maybe it's because Rupert was kind of playing this, kind of this senility play, or kind of this...
Well, there's that, but also the nature of a public inquiry is slightly odd, that, because I gave evidence there twice, that Robert Jay can push you pretty hard, but he hasn't got the freedom of movement that he would if he was in cross-examining in a criminal court.
Yeah.
He's got to be a little bit courteous. He's acting for the inquiry. He's not acting for the opposition. So there's a slight compromise on the extent of the aggression that he's allowed to deploy. But he definitely had Murdoch in trouble. I can't remember all the details, to tell you the truth, but I can remember writing about it. And do you listen to Bob Dylan?
Yes, sometimes.
You know, he had ages ago, mid-60s, he had this song about even the President of the United States still sometimes must have to stand naked. And later when he sang it after the Watergate scandal, everybody cheered. But I used that at the end of the story. Even the president of News Corp sometimes may have to stand naked.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonreelacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonreelacademy.com. So click on the link below. You'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.